Fewer mistakes are likely to occur where there are no secrets in devoted friendships. In recent times, people have not cherished the gift of true friendships, and they end up losing a brother or sister because of fighting over a woman or even money. Summary of the movie All Is Fair in Love. This movie highlights the delicate balance between love and friendship. It tells the story of two Lagos-based fashion designers, Demi and Kola, who are at the verge of putting Nigeria on the global fashion map with their fast-rising fashion label, Decon, having a relaunch. Handsome, sexy, and single stylists. Secondarily, this movie talks about a major money laundering syndicate that has been brought down by the Financial Crimes Commission (FCC). Several key suspects have been arrested, while the ringleader, who remains a mystery, known as Chief, is still on the run. News report from the FCC's chief detective in the person of Zainab Shonibari stated that this is a positive step in the battle against local and international financial crimes. Demi and Kola, who live together, start their day with getting ready for work and playing a game of Ayo, which Kola wins. As they leave the house and head to their cars, Kola brags about his win, and Demi tells him the first rule of success is that you don't talk too much. Kola replied him and said, "Come on, this story, Joe." They both left the premises and soon arrived at the office. Demi spotted a lady named Nadia and tries to avoid her, but she noticed and called out to him. She was at the fashion house trying out her dress for her grandfather's funeral. She complained that Demi ran off after they slept together, and she asked him if it was his commitment issues or was the sex that bad. He expertly avoided the question and complimented her dress. He concluded by saying it's always a pleasure doing business with her, after which he walked towards his office. On reaching the sewing section of the facility, Demi sees Rashid, the head of those sewing, shouting at the people working with him to get some equipment and materials for him. Demi inquires to know what he was fidgeting about. Apparently, Konla came in earlier and changed all the designs that they had been working on at the last minute. Demi gave him room to air out his grievances, and he did so, saying that his Oga Konla's method of changing designs at the last minute is overworking his guys, and no changes are made to their earnings. Demi stops him and tells him he will handle it, and he went to Konla's office to discuss the changes with him. Demi reminded him how much loss they are running on and told him to run the changes by him before making them, because the finances were Demi's responsibility and the designs Konla's responsibility. Demi told him that in the previous year, they spent more than 200 million naira for designs, and when the returns came in, it wasn't up to 200 million naira. Konla said he thought that the business consultant they wanted to hire is supposed to handle that. And Demi told him to wait until they get a consultant because he hadn't found a perfect fit. He saw the designs, they were very good, and they agreed no more changes. He also reminded Konla not to miss his father's dinner that night. Reluctantly, Konla said okay. Meanwhile, the Financial Crimes Commission are still investigating several suspects on the money laundering case, while they investigate the business of a certain Chima Nwafo. They recall that when he had a heart attack, he kept saying the name Catherine and screaming, "Catherine has killed me." The detective instructed the officer to sweep through every footage of the Nwafos, both from within and outside their office, so they can find this Catherine. At the dinner, Demi found out while speaking with Dupsy, his cousin, on the phone, that his father uninvited Konla to the dinner, and this made him very furious. He contained his vexation for a moment and picked his glass to make a toast. On getting the attention of everyone, he gave a speech. He mentioned that his father has taught him many things, some of them good, others very ridiculous. This triggered Mr. Demi Holloway Sr. He told Demi to leave giving a speech if he won't celebrate his father and leave it for those who revered his presence. In response, Demi asked him whose fault it is that his presence is not revered. He said he put together a dinner to celebrate his father, only to find out his father uninvited his best friend. His father stood up and asked if that was why he was shouting, and told him that Konla cannot keep to a dress code, so why should he have a seat at the table? He went on to call Demi confused for, in his words, rubbishing the legacy that he worked so hard to build for Demi and his unborn children. Demi told him that he never asked him to make any sacrifices for him. His father called him an ungrateful child, and Demi in turn called him an overbearing father and walked out. Konla went into a fancy lounge and helped a lady get an annoyingly persistent and rude guy off her back because she poured her drink on him after he tried attaching a price to her in a conversation. She thanked Konla. He said he knows his gender has just embarrassed men, but asked if he could buy her a drink to make up. She agreed and asked him his name. He said Konla, and she said her name was Mbali, which means flower. She wanted food instead, so they left to get food. Back at home, Demi hurries down to respond to a non-stop knock at the door. He thought it was Konla. To his surprise, it was Nadia, who was earlier fitting her dress at the office. He told her she shouldn't be here, but she promised to be for just that night. Konla and Mbali ate suya together. While they talked, Mbali got a call from her driver and left immediately to meet him without giving her number to Konla. At home the next morning, Demi and Konla greet each other as Demi leaves for work. He stopped at a coffee shop for breakfast. Over the phone, we hear him arguing. He told the person on the other end of the call to sort the issue out because they assured him they knew a guy who can get him to Aya Star so she can wear Demi and Konla's design for the BET Awards. At the shop, a lady he didn't know told him if he wanted to get Aya Star to wear his collection, he could just speak to her management and they can work something out for him. Before he could turn back, she had left. She happened to be Mbali, the same lady Konla hung out with the day before, and at the point where she met both of them, she disappeared, leaving them in suspense, and that goes to tell us that there has to be something about her. She's either intentionally orchestrating something or it is pure rare coincidence. Let us proceed and see how it all goes. Demi found out when he got to the office that his dad made him an offer to give him the expansion money he needed for Decon, and after 5 years his fashion line will merge with the Holloway Group, and he declined the offer. With the list of highly recommended consultants reaching them, Demi and Konla held an interview session. Hours after their hopes had been dashed because the individuals were not giving them what they needed, Mbali walked in. Her presence startled them. She sat and introduced herself as Mbali Komalo. Demi mentioned that they met at the coffee shop, and she said yes. Konla said nothing about meeting her before, and they went on with the interview. She told them they are already doing very well, but if they hire her, they will get into the international market because of her connections and experience working with global fashion brands. Konla was so fascinated and gave her the job, but Demi insisted that they need time to review her pitch. She dropped her business card and left. Eventually, Mbali was given the job, and on her first day, we see her flirting with Demi, and he asked that they have lunch together. Konla saw them returning to the office together, but said nothing, because Demi and Konla, while discussing at home, both denied having any form of affection or likeness towards her, even though they both clearly liked her. Mbali started hanging out and spending time with these two best friends separately. She had a lunch date with Demi and went dancing at night with Kola. The following day at the office, we see Mbali telling Demi over the phone that she has been able to speak with Arya's manager and he had agreed for her to wear their Kitan dress for the BET Awards. She also mentioned that she reached one of her contacts to see how to get their designs into some premium retail stores in the US and UK. She said to achieve the dream of the fashion brand Decon spreading all over the world, they need money and lots of it. She presented the idea of reaching investors for funds, and he eventually told her she can choose because she is the expert after she pressured he and Kola to pick an investor. Having observed over time that these two best friends were falling in love with her, she flirted with both men over WhatsApp conversations and in person, leveraging on her beauty and intelligence. At Mbali's home, we hear her discussing Demi and Konla's brand with a woman on a call. Apparently, Mbali works for her and they have a plan to extort money from their business. Demi, who values his friendship with Konla, tells her to pick Konla if she loves him, but that he loves her. She picked Demi and pleaded with him to keep their love a secret until the investor's contract she proposes is signed. Surprisingly, she had the same conversation with Konla, and he told her to pick Demi if she prefers him, but that he loves her. And she picked Konla and pleaded that they keep their love a secret until the investor's contract she proposes is signed. Unknown to Demi and his business partner, that Mbali was dating both of them, he visited the hotel with a flower to surprise Mbali. He finds Konla with Mbali outside the room. The men are at the verge of fighting because of Mbali. But on getting home, they meet the police, who make them realize she is not worth it. The police reveal to them that Mbali is dating both of them and that she's working for a woman named Chief, the CEO of LUAN Investment Group. The group invests in thriving businesses by sharing or lending money to them. Then they later kill the point man for the money laundering group. The company is shut down and the owner goes to prison and the laundered money is forfeited. The police comes up with a plan. After executing the plan, Demi and Konla call Mbali to the office and pretend they haven't caught her. Konla tells her to pick between them and she tries to outsmart them and says she loves both. They ask her to invite Mr. Vincent over for the upcoming event and that if he sees their designs, he will be willing to accept 15% shares. Mbali tells Chief about this and she agrees but does not feel good about the plan, so Chief creates a plan B. Demi and Konla find themselves in the hands of Chief. She kidnaps them as Plan B since they did not sign the contract at the event. Instead, they are offering 5%. In an attempt to make them sign the contract, she kidnaps them and tells them to sign off 50%. Amid this drama, the police apprehend the ringleader, Chief, and other culprits. Mbali invites the men for lunch to apologize and let them know she is serving her time. Demi and his father reconcile and decide to go on a family vacation with Konla included.